Drillas can be possibly coming back. Rain refuses to miss another major. Scream is building a new team. pashaBiceps was proclaimed a Tier C player? Hello there friends, this is CS2 News Hub. Without further ado, let's get straight to it. And we're starting today's episode with roster changes as usual, and let's talk vitality. But don't worry, this time it's nothing about the main lineup. The organization is finally preparing something fans have been asking for years, their own academy roster. Rumors about a Vitality Junior team have been circulating since March, and now it seems that the Bees are only a few steps away from locking it in. According to insiders, they are interested in Luca39, Joski, Dean, Catmain, Meow Pop, Riken, and Neki. And what's even more interesting, some of these players have already reportedly signed the contracts with the French org. It means Vitality will have their own talent pipeline, but obviously the main lineup is staying untouched for the moment because they're kinda doing good, you know? And now friends, let's talk about another team that might face changes soon. Obviously we will talk about Falcons because depending on how they will play at the Budapest Major, things can go sideways. First, let's start with Zonic, who might actually be in his last months with the team. To be fair, Falcons have started showing somewhat decent results lately, which could save his spot. But before that, his reputation inside the team was hanging by a thread, and the upcoming major will show if he will get the contract extension or the boot. If the boys flop in Budapest, there is a real chance that we will have to say goodbye to the Danish super coach, and also maybe to the other Dane on the roster as well, TeSeS. You know, because according to insiders and even some former pros, it's basically inevitable that BIT ends up joining Falcons sooner or later. The entire argument is pretty simple. BIT is one of the best anchors in the world, undoubtedly, and also he and m0NESY have ridiculous synergy ever since Na'Vi Jr. So together they could hit an insane level that Falcons desperately need. And let's be honest, Falcons have more than enough money to buy him out of Na'Vi. Yeah, it would be insanely difficult considering he is literally their only star player right now, but that is the kind of move that Falcons can actually afford if they decide to go full we buy everything that moves. And you know, if Na'Vi just wants some money. For now, all we can hope is that the Falcons will show at least something respectable in Budapest, like semifinals for example. If that happens, maybe, just maybe, they will not tear apart their roster immediately and will let this lineup breathe, even if it's just for another little bit. And now, speaking of roster moves and teams, we just have to talk about Drillas. Lately, their X account has been pumping up a suspicious number of cryptic but not really cryptic posts, hence and memes about coming back, about teams, changes, managers, and all that spicy stuff. And it really feels like they're teasing some kind of a comeback. You know, with all those lines like, "It's time to run it back, boss," or "Time to lock in and get in as a game coach," and plenty of other wink-wink phrases. Naturally, the community is already asking the obvious question: are Drillas really coming back, or this is just trolling? Honestly friends, the stars kinda line up. First, the market is full of free agents right now. There's an entire wildcard roster without an org, lots of other players who missed the major, and plenty of tier 1 and even tier 2 guys sitting on the benches. Put the right pieces together and you can build a solid lineup just for the sake of the fun. You don't even have to buy out a strong player, which also means that it's not crazy to think that Pixel might announce a comeback pretty soon and return as a coach next year, even though he said he didn't want to. You know, Zinedine Zidane also might come back pretty soon, so why not? And oh my god guys, just imagine the Cologne Major Grand Finals, 100 Thieves versus the Drillas. Never mind, that's just my fantasy. What about you guys? Do you wanna see Pixel's project back in action or not? Tell us in the comments below. Now, since we're on the topic of the upcoming major, things things managed to blow up even before the tournament started. A small scandal kicked off between the organizers and the streamers, and here's what happened basically. A lot of casters wanted to run their own live community streams of the biggest event of the season. But there's one massive problem. The main sponsor of the StarLadder Major is a company that cannot appear on Twitch or YouTube streams because it's basically banned. So any creator who is going to stream it will get banned eventually as well. You know, because of that, we just can't watch anyone streaming the tournament normally. And then it gets even stranger. Community casters are required to add a 3-minute delay between their stream and the official one. I mean, 3 whole minutes. At that point, the entire idea of a community cast just collapses because viewers can't react live and casters can't build up the hype. It basically feels like watching a VOD. And you know, all the spoilers in the chat and all that. But StarLadder didn't stop there. Multicasts and professional level production streams are not allowed. So any streamer who wanted to invest in proper overlays, a custom HUD or a studio setup or just better graphics simply can't prepare their broadcast the way they want it because StarLadder doesn't allow it. As Dima Wallhacks put it, after this, StarLadder shouldn't be allowed to host a major at all. And honestly, it's hard to disagree. I mean, Dima Wallhacks said that StarLadder only came for the money, not to celebrate the game. And with the sponsor they chose and the rules they are forcing on the streamers in the community, it does feel like he might be right. Now, continuing the topic of the major, we just have to talk about stickers because Valve managed to cause trouble again. You know, FlameZ just revealed the sticker that he sent to Valve, but they rejected it. And the reason wasn't any offensive content or any rule violation. It was much simpler. Valve introduced a new requirement that the autograph must be recorded on video and the camera must clearly capture the signing process from above. FlameZ couldn't set up his phone properly, so he had to place it on the edge of the desk, and the only surface he could sign on ended up being the soft seat of his chair. Valve didn't like that, and they cancelled the sticker and the version FlameZ originally wanted, so it never made it into the game, which is pretty unfortunate. FlameZ also joked about kyousuke's autograph. He said he's happy that kyousuke got his sticker because now they can compete for who has the worst one. Although he still insists that his original rejected autograph looked much better than the one that eventually appeared in the game. But guys, I mean, tell us in the comments below which one you liked more. And while FlameZ's main goal this major was simply to get the proper autograph into the game, then G2's coach Saw has a very different objective. According to him, the team hasn't been talking about any galaxy brain plans or "we're winning it all for sure" speeches. Their baseline goal is simply to make it to the playoffs. That's the foundation and the bare minimum they have to hit before they can even start dreaming about lifting a trophy. Saw admits it won't be easy, but he genuinely believes that G2 can pop off. He said that the team has the switch, the one that, when flipped, turns them from okay into why are they so cool? So with the major, they just have to flip it the right way. G2's last real success was at Blast, where they took down Vitality in the finals. But ever since then, things got a little shaky. Furia suddenly turned into a boss fight, other teams found their form, and G2 kind of fell a step behind the competition. So for now, no overhype, no delusion, get to the playoffs first, then fight for the big one. And honestly, friends, I admire the approach. But if there's anyone who definitely isn't shy about big ambitions, it's Rain. According to him, joining 100 Thieves is his chance to show everything he's capable of. And his main goal is simple and loud. qualify for the Cologne major next year. He said he's never missed a Cologne event in his entire career and he's not planning to start now. In the interview, Rain also confirmed that he really had an offer from BCG, and no, he wasn't the one who ordered the helicopter, so maybe it really was electronic after all. Rain also talked a bit about the basics of Counter-Strike. For him, the number one rule is clear: everyone must play their proper role. And lately, that just wasn't the case for FaZe clan. Things felt random, messy, and inconsistent, and it all became impossible to find stability. Right now, the team he considers the perfect example is Vitality. Structured, disciplined, everyone in their roles, and everyone is delivering. And the results speak for themselves. The Bees dominated the entire previous season, and now they're still the top contender. So Rain's plan is simple. Not Sasha, obviously. Rain will just take all those lessons, bring them into 100 Thieves, and he will make sure that the same mistakes don't repeat themselves. And you know what, guys? Honestly, we wish him all the luck. It will be really interesting to watch Rain shine again. And to wrap up the major topic, we just have to talk about everyone's favorite ritual pain, the Pickems. Here's what the most pros and analysts are cooking. According to the majority, Legacy are most likely to be the 3-0 team. For 3-1 and 3-2 spots, things get a lot more crowded. People choose FaZe Clan, Gamer Legion, Ninjas in Pyjamas, Lin Vision, Parry Vision, and Fly Quest. Basically the usual mix of they should qualify, but they will definitely give you a heart attack. But who's definitely going home early? Well, people choose Red Canids and the Huns. Almost everyone put them as 0-3. Onipixel, for example, also shared his predictions, and I remind you, he's the Giga Brain coach of an esports team, so I kinda trust him. 3-0 goes to FaZe Clan and Gamer Legion, while the teams he expects to safely reach the next stage are MAT, Legacy, Ninjas in Pyjamas, Energy, Bait, and Fnatic. One of the funniest takes came from Ninjas in Pyjamas player X Kaspersky, who put his own team as 0-3. Either this is pure trolling, or he knows something, but I guess it's just trolling. But honestly, with Ninjas in Pyjamas, both options sound equally realistic. Friends, what are your Pickems? Drop your 3-0s and 0-3s in the comments below. Now, my friends, let's talk about regular players for a moment, the true victims of every update. You know that FACEIT recently introduced some very interesting new anti-Smurf measures. Now they can literally ask you for a selfie or even force a video call to confirm that you're a real owner of your own account. On top of that, new accounts need a certain number of matches before they can queue for premium, depending on their elo. So theoretically, there should be fewer Smurfs at high levels. Theoretically. But high elo players don't exist right now anyways, because the big elo reset finally hit. Everyone above 2000 elo lost a chunk of rating, you know, because of the great elo reset. So time to grind again, boys, and tell us in the comments below if you were damaged by this reset as well. But not everyone could have started grinding right away, because Cloudflare decided to die on the exact same day. FACEIT was completely down and players were just begging, please devs, just let us play one game. Eventually everything got fixed, but for a couple of hours FACEIT and like the half of the internet was genuinely dead, although not because of an update this time. Now let's talk about pro players for a little more. Guys, can you guess who's reportedly coming back? Yeah, the headshot machine Scream. Rumor has it he's forming a new roster with his brother Nivera, obviously, plus a group of French players, Kyojin, Python, and Shogun. Right now it's just a mix with no org behind it, but with Scream's name and visibility, someone might eventually take interest. Then again, his recent results were rough, like really rough. At this point, the only thing truly left from the headshot machine era is the legacy, and and the history. But if there's anyone who can restart the career out of pure determination, it's Scream, right? Speaking of legendary players, we have to talk about a recent exclusive interview with Dupreeh, where he created his own tier list of the greatest CS players of all time. And that's where things get interesting. In S tier, according to Dupreeh, there is only room for snipers, his former teammate Device, plus Monacy, Simple, and Zaivu. The A tier is already a lot more crowded, called Zira, Fallen Forest, Olofmeister, Nico, Donk, and obviously Dupreeh himself. But after A tier is where all the chaos began. In B tier, he placed his former teammate Glaive, as well as Getright, Robs, Canny, and Zeus. But then we get to the C tier and D tier, and that's where Dupreeh drops a nuclear bomb on the entire community. In C tier, he put Guardian and pashaBiceps. And in D tier, the very bottom, he put Flosha, JW, and Suntares. Now, no offense, but I get it. Suntares didn't win that many trophies, even if he's a name demon and a legend mechanically. But Flosha and JW, the architects of Fnatic's era, and pashaBiceps, one of the most iconic players in CS history, putting them in C and D tiers is absolutely wild. I mean, yeah, maybe they aren't as popular right now and their peak was long ago. Many of you have never even watched them play, but these are the players that Counter-Strike scene was built on, and they were great back in the day. So if you think that Dupreeh is completely wrong and that pashaBiceps belongs at least in A tier, congrats, you're a real OG of CS, and we respect that. But if you agree with Dupreeh, go ahead and explain yourself in the comments below. And now, that's it for today, my friends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button to follow our channel and drop by in the comments below. And also, surely hit the notification bell. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.